Hey guys, in today's episode of Hobby Eats, I thought I would go back to a previous video, my Midnight Munchies, where I went over the different types of foods that are good while you're hobbying. And I came up with ramen as being my number one for that Midnight Munchies, or what to eat while hobbying. So there I decided, what would be a good follow-up for that? And it would be my personal top 10 for ramen. But I wanted to make it a little more universal. So I did a few rules within my top 10 for this list. The first rule is I wanted them to be somewhat easily accessible. For me, that meant these are going to be ramen that I can easily find almost whenever I go to my local Asian market or my local convenience store. So you won't see Amazon type stuff on here or online. That'll be a different list. Yeah, those are easily obtainable, but usually you have to buy them in big packs. So I wanted those to be their own list. I'm actually going to do two main top 10s in here, because within ramen, there's still some higher end and lower end, or more expensive and cheaper. So I've kind of split them up into a cheaper top 10 and a slightly more expensive top 10. But before I even get into that, I thought I would do a slight variation and honorable mention for spicy noodles. A lot of these do have a little bit of heat. I do like a little bit of spice in my food. They seem to bring out, flavor and add a little bit. I like that a lot. But sometimes with some of the noodles, with some of the spicy noodles, that's all you're really getting is heat. And sometimes that's not really what you want. So I figured I'd let that be on its own. So I start off with my honorable mention list, and that is just some spicy, easily obtainable at my local Asian markets, spicy ramen. For the most part, we're talking about one company, and that's kind of what I am representing here, and that is the Samyang. The one everybody is used to is this. It is their fire noodles. It is their standard baseline spicy noodles. They have this and basically this, and they have a cold version, which is basically the same thing. But when you cook noodles, you basically can make your ramen in three different ways. One is a dry noodle, where you get rid of the liquid, drain, and then put the sauce in and mix it up. The other way is when you have a soup base, and that could be, the soup could be separate, it could be with it, it could be all mixed together. You could dip your noodles in, but basically where you have a soup and noodles, so a lot of your flavoring is in the soup. And then your third is basically those last two, but cold version, where after you cook your noodles, you chill them, and that's basically what this is. They're basically the same thing, except for after you cook your noodles, you then rinse it in cold water, and then mix it all together. So you basically have your basic hot noodle here. Now, one interesting challenge, if anybody wanted to attempt this, would be the fire and ice challenge, and that's basically where you get one of each, and you cook them both at the same time. You try to eat them both at the same time. So the fire and ice challenge, that's right there. Of course, they can step up their game. They also have the 2X spicy. Go ahead and bring this over. The 2X spicy, and then they have this, the Milan. A lot of people are calling this one a 4X, which technically, if you look on the back of their packaging, which is something that I really love. Let me see if I can find it. Of course, you're not going to show it on that one. Or are they? Oh, yeah. Wait, here we go. Where are you? There you are. They actually show what their Scoville level is on a lot of their stuff. And they do put that on a lot of their packaging. It looks like not all of them, but they will put it on a bunch. And this actually is not 4X. This actually, if I remember right, when I looked it up, it actually has a lower Scoville rating than their base. The difference is when it comes to spice, you have two different kinds of spices, and that's even represented here on the picture, where you have a chili pepper spice, and then you have this peppercorn spice. And those are the two different kinds, where this is that heat, this is that tingle you have, and that, you know, where you start to sweat. This kind of a special chili peppercorn, it adds a numbingness. So while technically this one isn't as hot as even this one, a lot of people call it 4X. They feel like it's hotter than this because of that type of pepper. I almost tend to agree. I can eat these two. I can't touch these two. They're even hot for me. So, but when it comes to, and I'm really not a fan of the colds of any, whether it's spicy or not. And this right here has heat, has a little flavor, but this one's basically heat. When it comes to Samyang, they do have some other flavors you can get. So if you're looking for more of a flavored spice, they do have that, and that kind of gets me to my list for the spicy, honorable mention spicy list, and that would be number 5. The Jajang, and that is like a black bean paste sauce. Very good, and this one has a good bit of heat to it. Number 4 is the stew type, and it keeps the liquid in here and has a few extra vegetables, dehydrated vegetables that come up. So that makes it a little different. Number 3 is the curry. Again, curry is one of my favorite types of ramen. So this one is fairly high on there. Number 2 is the cheese flavored one. And my number 1 from them is their newer carbonara. So now that we've gone over some spicy noodles, let's get into the actual list, starting with number 10 in both the cheap and expensive line, and that's where we have right here. You will find a lot of the expensive lines are mainly because they are in bowl version. Not all, but a good bit of them are. This is, for this F&F, this is a very good flavored one. It is just their standard flavor. It comes with like a little fork in it. It is great. I love this. And this is just some chow mein. Again, you're talking about, some of the easier finds, the lower end, but still very, very tasty. Number 9. Here we go. And this Prima Taste, you'll see this one popping up a good bit. A lot of their flavors I absolutely love. Come on, back focus. There we go. I absolutely love their flavors. This one is actually the original ramen. This was the first type of ramen that was ever done. And it has a very interesting, unique puck of noodles where there is a little divot in there, and the idea there is you put your noodles in your bowl, you crack an egg on top of that, you pour your boiling water on, you lid it, and then that cooks it. So that way you have, and that's what that divot is to hold the egg and the yolk. But this is number 9 for my cheaper and my more expensive line ramen. Number 8. Here we go. This one is a black garlic tonkatsu. And then we have just another yakisoba. I like this one a little better. It is in the bowl, so it has some extra items in here, some vegetables and everything that makes it a little better than some of the other ones that you will find. This brand and this of the instant noodles I really absolutely love, especially the tonkatsus. The black garlic is a little lower on my list because that black garlic flavor is a bit intense, but you know, when you're looking for a change, when you're looking for something a little different, it is great. It adds a lot. So that is why they're in my black garlic tonkatsu. Number 8. And next we have, for the more expensive line and the cheap, here we go. We have the Indomie chicken curry on the cheap end, and we have the cup noodle seafood over on this one. This is absolutely fantastic stuff right here. Lots of little bits of dehydrated seafood that, you know, plump up and rehydrate as you cook. And then, you know, you'll see this curry pop up a lot within my list. It's a nice, just standard instant noodle. These ones can be cooked either dry or liquid, whichever way you prefer. One of the things that I really love about these Indomie flavors is that all of these seasoning packs, rather than them being basically combined into 1 or 2, you know, little pouches, is they're all pretty much individual in here. So if you want to, you know, up the spice, you know, it's very easy because you'll have the chili pack or the whatever it is, and you can only add in a little or a lot. And so it's very easy to customize with the Indomie line. I really do appreciate that. All right. So next on our list, another Nissan cup noodle. We have the curry flavor of them. And then again from Indomie, we have the barbecue chicken flavor. Again, both of them very good, very different. Again, these can be done, you know, usually they're always done dry, but however you want is up to you. And this is, you know, just that slight barbecued chicken flavor. Not to be confused with the South as, you know, BBQ or that flavored. It is barbecued chicken flavored Indomie. All right. Next, we have the final Indomie, and this guy. Each one of these, there's actually 2 that you will see here, because basically it is the regular and spicy versions of each. With this one is their Tom Yum flavored. This stuff is absolutely fantastic, and they have it in regular and spicy. And then same thing with the Indomie, where you have the regular and the spicy. Very good stuff for here. All right, getting down to it. Next, we have, here we go. And there and there. Okay, now we have another yakisoba. Again, I really like these, especially the bowl versions, because they have a good bit of vegetable and everything in them that you don't really get when you just get the packs of noodles. And then here we have 2 different tonkatsus from Nissan. I really love tonkatsu. It is one of my favorites. The difference here is this is a soy version, and this is just your standard tonkatsu. Next on our list is another green curry from Mama. And this is another stack. This is another one I'm kind of cheating on. It's a single company, 3 of their different ones. These ones, it is extremely hard for me to pick which ones I like. I gave them a they're tied all on that top. And the main reason is this little puck that you have in here. It just adds a little something to that, where this is a little bit of you know, like it's like a puck of like the breading. If you go and, you know, so if you get the, you know, the Oriental fried vegetables or shrimp or something like that. It's like that. And this is a little bit of the fried tofu, I believe, is what those ones are. But they, you know, plump up, rehydrate as you cook, and they just absorb that liquid. So as you break it up, you know, that liquid then just kind of, you know, bursts into your mouth. It is great. I absolutely love these. And then, of course, the green curry is the low end for my number 3 from Mama. This is the jumbo size pack, but of course they do sell it in a smaller one. No other changes except for within the size, but this is great stuff. This does have a little bit of a heat to it as well. I mean, it is a curry. Most curries will. All right, getting down to the nitty gritty. Next, we have on the high end, again from Prima Taste, the curry. And here, another tonkatsu. This is one of my favorite tonkatsus. It is a white chicken broth tonkatsu. And then the curry from Prima Taste. These Prima Taste ones really are high end. Whether you're getting the chili crab, which I had a little lower on my list, or this one, or any of them, they are absolutely fantastic. If you are lucky enough to get the wheat pasta versions, if they have that in there, I highly recommend it. It's a nice little change, but for the most part, you can't really tell. You can't tell the difference. They don't really cost any different. I would definitely recommend trying that one. And finally, on into my number 1 spot, we have the shrimp creamy tom yum by Mama on the cheap end, and our final Prima Taste, the laksa on the higher end. These two are absolutely fantastic. This one, they also have a non-creamy one, so it's just your shrimp kontaksu, or shrimp tom yum, I mean. That one is good too, but I do prefer the creamy version. And then I wish I could find more laksa flavored easily at my local shop, but this usually is pretty much the only one I can get my hands on. This, you know, I could eat this one all the time. This is absolutely fantastic. And there's so much you can do. There's so much customization you can do to this to then even up it even more, to make it even more of a meal. Well, that is my top 10 for ramen in both the cheap and expensive line, including a small little honorable mention, going over some of the spicy versions available on the Samyang line. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you to determine if you wanted to stock up on some ramen to load up in your hobby room for some of that late night eating. Hope it helps you to decide which ones you might be interested in or which ones you might want to try. Until next time, guys, talk to you later. Bye.